And that's how I look at it. What makes him get more respect than me? You my next door neighbor, you know, I tell him, you got yours from your family. I got mine from the ground up, from hard work and dedication.
Floyd Mayweather is one of the greatest ever. He's a brilliant defensive fighter. His speed, his boxing savvy. He's just a savant. He's just something special, no question about it. But I gotta look at the Sugar Ray Leonards of the world.
Floyd's way is safe. Not in a punk, but it's like the safe way, like nothing ain't gonna go wrong. But that's how he fight. That's his characteristic.
Floyd Mayweather lashes out after Stephen A. Smith downplays his career and claims Terrence Crawford could defeat him. Stephen A. maintains that Mayweather is not the best ever, as Floyd says, and argues Sugar Ray Leonard was far superior. He also mentions that Floyd's peak wins came at lightweight, while he didn't dominate as much at higher weights. Smith even dismissed the Canelo bout as unimpressive, triggering anger from Mayweather, who refuses to let such remarks pass.
It's not just about your skill set, it's who you do it against.
Your level of competition. Is it possible that he's so far beyond his level of competition that he made it look easy?
Well, I think he did as a lightweight. When he went up to the welterweight division, not so much. You know what I'm saying? Now, if
taking out Canelo the way he took out.
Well, he just gave him a boxing lesson, but Canelo's 22 years old. See, I remember
That's
that.
an excuse, though. I don't like this, like he's 22, he's too young.
I will tell you this. Well, you know, you do have to take that into consideration.
The guy had 100 fights.
Well, let me explain. You have to take that into consideration when boxing is the issue. Now, if he got knocked on his ass, that's different. But when he simply got schooled, when you swinging a punch and Floyd is tapping you on your shoulder saying, I'm behind you, that's a problem. You understand what I'm saying? That's just a skill, like, you know,
we could credit Floyd with that.
Of course, I am crediting. I'm saying he's a brilliant boxer. You know, this Floyd knew how to move before you even threw the damn punch. You see what I'm saying? You gotta be a veteran to know how to overcome that. You can't put a novice into the ring with Floyd Money Mayweather. You understand? He's going to school you. What I'm saying to you is that if you want to make an argument on Floyd Money Mayweather's half, which I'm not summarily dismissing, I would tell you it's this. Floyd Money Mayweather was undefeated for the last half of his career with one hand. He constantly broke his hand. He constantly broke his hand.
Dawood offered a detailed breakdown comparing Floyd Mayweather and Terrence Crawford after Crawford's win over Canelo Alvarez. As a fan, he leaned slightly toward Crawford in a potential clash, though he insisted balance was required. Crawford's victory was historic, and many claimed it surpassed anything Floyd had done. Yet Bay reminded everyone that Floyd also schooled Canelo, only at a time when Canelo was still maturing. He noted that overlooking Floyd's greatness for Crawford is unfair, since both added something rare to boxing. To Bay, the truth sits in the middle. Crawford deserves praise for beating Canelo so decisively, but Floyd's showing was equally legendary and should not be ignored.
That Bud goes about it a little bit better than Floyd in this sense. Floyd will when Floyd fought Canelo, he was standing right there. He wasn't running and all of that. He wasn't doing all of the stuff that they say, oh, runner, Mayweather's a runner. He wasn't doing that versus Canelo. He was right there. Because I can't even really remember Canelo catching him like that, like with nothing. With Bud, I could remember Canelo catching Bud a couple times, but Bud gave him the, all right, put your foot out, what's up? Boxing turn, boxing turn, boxing turn. And was really standing there and giving it to him with another type of energy. The energy is more so all right, what's up? You can't beat me. Floyd energy be bop, bop, I'm better than you. You see what I'm saying? They don't really be respecting that all the time. They'll acknowledge it yo, I ain't gonna lie, be hard to catch. But they be nah, you didn't beat me up. Bud go about his fights in a way where the Mexican fan base gotta be I ain't gonna lie, Canelo, he hollered at you. He came at you too. He didn't just be better than you. He was better, and then he was all right, I'm gonna come at you. And I think they really respect that. Shit, I respect it. I don't think it's not, I think the less you get hit, the better. I'm always gonna take it that way. So, you know what I'm saying? As a boxing fan, the kind of boxing fan that I am, I would have leaned towards Floyd's performance, but Bud's performance was if I'm a casual fan, I'd rather watch the way.
Trainer Boosie Ennis spoke strongly about Terrence Crawford's position in boxing. He addressed doubters who questioned Crawford's record, saying Crawford has proven repeatedly that he is among the very best of this era, and highlighted his willingness to take risks against anyone. Crawford, he said, never avoided dangerous opponents. In Ennis's eyes, Crawford thrives in risky situations, which sets him apart from others. By continuously pushing himself against elite fighters, Crawford built a place among boxing's greats. He urged that people stop downplaying Crawford's achievements and instead acknowledge that few in history have been as versatile, bold, and successful as Crawford has.
I think he could have got to stop it. He'll tell you that. He'll be able to sit down a little bit more. But I tell you, Terrence can fight, and he can box. And he can fight. He'll fight that side. He take chances, man. You know what I mean? And that's how you be great, man. If he wanted to be greatest out there now, I think he's great. I think he's the best out there right now in that division. You know what I mean?
What's left?
For Terrence?
Yeah.
If I was Terrence, I would retire. That's what I would do. He did everything, man. He's done everything, man. You know what I mean? Look how many titles he done won. All that stuff, you know what I mean? I think I'll go off on the sunset, man. You know what I mean? You don't need no more money. You know what I mean?
Crawford's longtime trainer Brian Bomac McIntyre insists his fighter still has a few big fights left. Bomac believes Crawford could compete 2 or 3 more times before walking away. He mentioned the idea of moving up to 160 pounds, stressing it would be less about collecting belts and more about cementing an already Hall of Fame career. Bomac emphasized that Crawford has already secured his place in history with monumental wins and becoming undisputed in multiple weight classes. Yet, chasing more titles at higher weights excites both the team and fans. He said Crawford is no longer chasing approval. Instead, he is fortifying his standing among legends, pursuing opportunities only rare fighters dare attempt.
For the second time. They can't take it away from me.
Does this one mean more to you than the other ones?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It gives us the opportunity as a team to go into the Hall of Fame. Instead of a fighter going in there, instead of a coach going in there, it gives us a better chance of going there as a team.
Well, congrats on that. I know that means a lot to you and the team.
Definitely that.
I asked Bud this after the fight 2 weeks ago. Would he consider this his signature win? He said, yeah, one of them. Do you think that was his signature win of his career?
Well, the last fight?
Yeah, the Canelo one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was the underdog. Everybody thought that, he was going to get beat. That he was going to get beat. Surprising.
So what's next for Bud? What do you want to see him do?
I just want to see him, spend time with his family because, training for a fight, you be gone a long time. You're going away from your family. It can take a toll on you after a while. So,
as his trainer, do you feel like you should just sell off into the sunset after this monumental
well,
win?
you know what? They made it look so easy. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit, got 2, 3 more in him and shit. You know what I'm saying? Training camp will try harder. You know what I'm saying?
Timothy Bradley gave heartfelt remarks about Terrence Crawford's influence on the sport. He explained that young boxers often battle doubt, especially when critics undermine them. Crawford, however, showed what persistence and determination could achieve. Despite early skepticism, Crawford consistently silenced critics with his results in the ring. Bradley stressed that Crawford became an inspiration for the next generation by achieving what many thought impossible, becoming undisputed multiple times in different divisions. For Bradley, Crawford stands for more than titles. He represents belief, bravery, and the proof that hard work overcomes criticism. Young fighters now look at Crawford not only as a champion, but as a role model who proves never giving up pays off.
The man that you have become, you're a true inspiration to the youth, man. Anybody that's troubled, any troubled kid out there, man, they can look at you and say, hey, man, I got a fighting chance to get myself out the situation. All I got to do is make that choice. That's what you did, Crawford. You made that choice, man. You made that choice to change, bro. You saw it going down, man, years ago, man, in 2008, man, when that bullet came through that window, you knew you had to do something or you'll end up 6 feet under, bro. So that courage that you had, man, and that will that you had, and that mindset of change, man, and the gym, you know, grooming you and turning you into a man, because that's what boxing does. See, people don't understand, man, that boxing is more than just throwing punches. You know, boxing teaches you discipline. You know, it teaches you love for people, love for others, man. You know, working together. You know, you're there constantly every single day, man. You know, spending time there perfecting a craft, man. Perfecting yourself, understanding yourself, learning more about yourself each and every single day. You push it inside the gym. You know, boxing is more than just throwing punches, man. You know.
Floyd Mayweather's story went beyond boxing. As Oladipo explained, Mayweather built a distinct personas Pretty Boy Floyd and Money Mayweather that captured public imagination. As Pretty Boy, he was a daring puncher who produced knockouts. Later, as Money Mayweather, he became the ultimate businessman, mastering defense and turning every match into a global spectacle. His pay-per-view success and marketing sense made him bigger than the sport. Oladipo credited Floyd's genius inside and outside the ring, noting that he built a model modern fighters still try to follow. By combining technique with entertainment, Mayweather became more than a boxer. He became a cultural icon and the designer of boxing's modern economy.
I'm sorry. He's a genius. He is a fucking... You know, when I get bored with today's crop of boxers, and Terence, to be fair, has kind of helped me out of my boredom, but sometimes I just go on YouTube and I watch the 24/7s and then I watch the fight. I'm not joking, I watch the whole fucking episodes and then I watch the fight. And my guy is a genius. A genius. There will always be an argument of, hey, you should have fought that person then, and I get it. I get it, right? It's kind of the argument you can't throw at Muhammad Ali, right? You could throw that argument at Floyd. But dude, unbeaten is unbeaten. Unbeaten is unbeaten. Multi-weight world champion is multi-weight world champion. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen a boxer so like, I'm gonna work you out, and then when I work you out, you're done. Shall I repeat that? I'm gonna work you out, and when I work you out, you're done. And Floyd had this thing where first 2 rounds, you think, whoa, shit, man, this guy's in this fighting, and then he works you out. And then he works you out. Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd was better than Money, but Money Floyd had, obviously, the fights, right?
Even after Crawford's stunning triumph over Canelo, debate about his future has grown. Some insiders, including his camp, suggested retirement to preserve his legacy. Supporters argue Crawford has already reached greatness and has nothing left to prove. Yet others are unsatisfied and continue to question his win, claiming he should step aside before his reputation fades. This has created tension, as many insist Crawford still has plenty left. His latest showings show no decline, and fans want to see more marquee bouts. While retirement is possible, his legacy as one of the greatest is already secure, and whether he keeps fighting or not, his historic record cannot be erased.
Terence Crawford did what he did against Canelo Alvarez. Terence Crawford made himself the face of boxing, and he did it. He made it look easy. He made the Errol Spence fight look easy. That was supposed to be the toughest test of his career. I thought it was. The whole world thought it was. It was the easiest fight he had at welterweight. I thought, but I've been saying for years that he's gonna easily beat Canelo Alvarez, and he did. But many people expected Canelo to knock him out. That wasn't the case. With that said, now people are trying to throw, he's 38. Tomorrow, Terence Crawford will be 38 years old. He's a 5-division champion. If he wants to stick around, like Terence Crawford stated, okay, Terence Crawford stated, if I do stick around, I'm not dropping down no further than 160 pounds. If he stays in boxing, I say he have 2 more fights. Fight Jenovic, who's the unified champion. Hopefully Carl Sadamas and Lara fight and unify the belts. 2 fights at 160, pad the stats, become a 6-division champion and a 4-division undisputed champion. Cool. Other than that, Terence Crawford needs to retire.
Trainer Robert Garcia joined the Mayweather versus Crawford debate. He reminded fans that although Mayweather's record and accomplishments stand unmatched, he never became undisputed, something Crawford and Pacquiao both achieved. Garcia admitted Crawford's record in that sense is historically important. Still, he leaned toward Mayweather if they were matched directly. He said Mayweather's defense, timing, and intelligence would overwhelm even a fighter as good as Crawford. For Garcia, Floyd's ability to neutralize rivals set him apart, making him a nightmare matchup. Though he respects Crawford's success, Garcia argued Mayweather's command of fundamentals and ring IQ puts him above nearly all, even today's best.
He doesn't need it anymore.
With his accomplishments, the only man to ever do 3 weight divisions undisputed, is he now a part of the greatest of all time conversation? And not of this era, but of all time.
Definitely is the greatest, one of the greatest of all times. You know, there's still greats out there. There's still, you know, his era or last era, you know, with the Mayweathers, with the Pacquiaos. I think he's, you know, already accomplished more than Pacquiao was 8 divisions, so we could argue there because Pacquiao was, 8 division is almost impossible, and he did it. Mayweather never became undisputed. He's a 5 division champion, but never became undisputed. Never really followed that unification, stuff like that. So I think when it comes to accomplishments, I think he's already done more.
Greg Hackett added to the debate by comparing Mayweather's fight with Canelo to Crawford's. He argued that when Floyd faced Canelo, he was already a polished fighter with unmatched composure. Hackett said Crawford's style is aggressive and adaptable, but it doesn't have the flawless control Floyd showed across 12 rounds. He emphasized that Mayweather's defensive mastery and control of the ring remain unbeaten in boxing. While he respects Crawford's career, Hackett maintained that Floyd's dominance was on another level. Crawford's explosiveness is remarkable, but Mayweather's calculated brilliance against Canelo came closer to perfection.
But the biggest props of the night goes to Terrence Crawford, who did not disappoint. He was supposed to be the smaller man. He was supposed to be the weaker man. He was supposed to be the man that was going to spend the entire night on his bicycle, running for his damn life because Saul Canelo Alvarez was coming his way. That is not what happened. What happened instead, ladies and gentlemen, was a masterclass in boxing by Terrence Crawford. Now, to me, the fight, some people were saying it was a severely lopsided and stuff like that. I'm not going for that. I'm not feeling that at all. It wasn't like that at all.
Veteran reporter Dan Rafael looked at Crawford's career with a long-term lens. He said Crawford no longer needs to fight to prove his legacy in the sport. His record already stands undisputed in multiple divisions, wins over elite names, and a reputation for dominance. Rafael explained that once fighters reach this status, the goal should move from proving themselves to safeguarding their legacy. He warned that chasing unneeded fights could risk damaging what Crawford has built. Instead, he believes Crawford should enjoy recognition as one of boxing's greatest. With a resume full of historic achievements, Crawford will be remembered as a legend whether he continues fighting or retires now.
He stood in the pocket, like he's not moving anywhere from him. He's using his head moving, he's not being stupid, but he's not necessarily moving away from Canelo. Like you said, he's walking the, you know, quote unquote bigger man down and forcing the action rather than going off, you know, reacting to Canelo's attacks. So I think it was such an impressive display, but it sort of begs the question now, when you're a 3-time undisputed champion, and I know money's important, financials, we always talk about that, his legacy is intact regardless. We'll start with Terrence. What does a Terrence Crawford do now? Like, what's the next thing that he does? Because you look around and go, is the only way that he really gets that, maybe that ultimate chance if he goes up again? And do you say, you know, what do you do?
I don't quite. Yeah, I mean, you know, he was asked those questions at the press conference. He made 2 things clear. One, he's not going back to 154, and I say that because some people suggested about possibly pursuing a fight with Ennis, who has his debut in the weight class coming up.
Yeah.
That's probably unlikely. He's not going to go back down to weight. And I mean, no disrespect to Ennis, but Ennis is a guy that's known within the diehards of boxing. He's not in any way known beyond the boundaries of the hardcore boxing fan. So I don't know if that makes sense for a lot of different reasons for him. Not to say I wouldn't, as a boxing fan, enjoy watching the fight. So, but I don't think he's going back to 154. He was asked about like a Benavidez at 175, and he acknowledged like that guy's really big. I mean, that's maybe a bridge too far. He already went up to 2 weight classes to fight Canelo at 68. So it feels to me like he could either stay at 168 and defend this championship and look to the same types of names that were being thrown around as the types of guys that would have been in the mix for Canelo had he